I'm Darren.
I'm Derek.
And this is the Double D Podcast. What's up,
This
dudes?
is what everybody's been waiting for. It is the review of Night of Champions.
Hey, got fucked up.
Yeah, well, why is it not fucked up? That's the real question.
Oh, shut up, long hair.
Thank you. Hey, listen, I get a lot of compliments on my long hair nowadays. People are coming around on it. They were resistant at first. Now people are fans. Thank you for everyone who didn't donate money to shave my hair because it's been working for me. There are a lot of compliments on it.
Let's get to the real thing that people are actually fans of.
This isn't a video about my long hair.
Let's get to the real thing that people are actually fans of.
March 25th, Night of Champions just passed. It was an amazing event. A little bit of background coming into this event. Darren had just gotten home from vacation, literally the day of the event.
It was fun.
So, like, I don't know, 6 hours before the event, he had just gotten done with how long of a drive from Florida? 16-hour drive?
15 with the baby.
15 with the... was shorter than... I said 16.
15 years.
15. Okay, 15 hours.
It's 12 hours or 13 hours there.
Right.
We took a little extra 3 hours to get home.
Right. So, and he was working on how many hours of sleep?
About 2.
About 2 hours of sleep going into this event. So, I just want to say, hey, good job, man. You fucking killed it. I mean, I would have not been able to do what you did during that. So, congratulations. How did it make you feel?
I was definitely tired when I got home, and I'm thankful that you drove
Yeah.
to at least
Hey,
to your
welcome.
house, and then I can drive the rest of the way to my house.
You're welcome.
So-
But I will tell you this. Denham had said before that he thought this was going to be one of the loudest crowds that we had seen, one of the biggest crowds since COVID, and he was not wrong.
What the hell were we doing? You guys were quiet as a damn mouse. I could hear a freaking pin drop.
I don't think so.
Nah,
I
I'm
think
just playing.
I think the crowd was loud. Crowd was active. There was a lot of people. I mean, I started realizing how many people were at this event when it wasn't. I didn't even know the doors were open yet, and it looked like the seats were filled.
Yeah.
And I heard people. I had to use the bathroom like a half an hour before the event started, and there were people who were saying, "I can't believe it's standing room only already." I mean, it was that many people were there.
quick.
So thank you for everybody who came out on behalf of Battle on the Border. I don't
And the
speak for them.
podcast.
But, yeah, it was a lot of people, great event, loud crowd, and even better action in the ring. Let's just jump straight to that because that's why everybody who clicked on this video.
And I had a family member there.
There you go. And we had a couple people come up and say hey to us or say that they liked certain podcasts. So thank you to you guys.
Lots of this. Handshakes.
Handshakes. Let's get to where there wasn't a lot of handshakes, and that would be our first match, tag team division match between DD Trash and the Bad Dudes. A little bit of bad blood between these two. Of course, the Bad Dudes have bad blood with a lot of people. That's why they're called the Bad Dudes.
Fair enough.
I mean, you wouldn't be called the Bad Dudes and be proud of being called the Bad Dudes if you're not a bad dude yourself.
And let's not forget that they don't like kids. Made it very
They
clear
made it very
in the ring.
clear. They had Rick Toms make an announcement, I believe,
Yes.
to say that they didn't like kids.
Yes.
So that gives you an idea of how bad the Bad Dudes really are. Like, if you've never seen the Bad Dudes live, you're missing out, first off.
Yes,
Second off,
very, very talented.
second off, they don't bring the kids.
Yeah, no. They do
don't
not
like
like your
kids.
kids. Better yet, they won't like you either.
Right. No, yeah.
They don't like nobody.
And, we talked about it the last time about how they had a rivalry a little bit with Brandon Day, and so maybe the tag team division's up. So this is a very important match because with Brandon Day and Shane Douglas no longer being a tag team, the tag team division is kind of. Now, I'm not saying that they had like a stranglehold over the division, but it opens it up. One less tag teams, one less tag team.
But you also got a couple fairly good tag teams.
There's
that
very
you still
good
got to compete against. I mean, I'm not saying that they can't handle it,
Right.
but I mean,
A lot of good tag teams. And this was a very good match. Honestly, this is probably tied for my favorite match of the night.
it's
love
easily
tag team.
my favorite match of the night.
I love tag team wrestling. Something about it is just great. I don't know. I've always been a fan. So I was really going into this match. It was a highly anticipated matchup for myself.
Oh, for sure.
And if you're a fan of the Bad Dudes, unfortunately for you, DD Trash did pick up a victory, which I imagine is going to take them far. Now this is their second victory in Battle on the Border.
I was about to say, after seeing them, like, first time I ever seen them was in Battle on the Border.
Right. So
Yeah, they almost have won me over to where they're my favorite tag team.
I mean,
They still got to compete with the Bad Dudes. The Bad Dudes is still a fantastic tag team tag team.
well, it's interesting you say that because throughout this whole matchup, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because of how you are about wrestling, a certain specific person who may or may not be a Golden State god, who may or may not use some interesting tactics during matches at certain points. Bad dudes also use this. Specifically, Jeremiah was taking advantage of moments where the referee was being distracted by DD Trash, and Pompano Joe and Jeremiah were taking advantage of that. What was your thoughts on that? I mean, because you're not somebody who's a fan of taking advantage of situations.
It wasn't necessarily ideal, but when they are actually fairly when they're fairly wrestling and not being cheating buffoons,
right? yeah.
They're really good. They're really talented. Well, when they're not being cheating buffoons, they're really good wrestlers.
That is very true. I agree.
And I will never say that they're bad wrestlers. I don't care.
They're not bad
they are
wrestlers.
Fantastic. That's been my favorite tag team for a long time. And I'm not supposed to like the bad dudes.
You're not.
Because, they're bad
But they've
dudes.
been on the podcast.
They have been on the podcast.
So we have a little. So there is very.
We're a little biased.
But very possible.
But DD Trash is creeping very quickly because that talent between those two are holy shit.
I was going to say this. So moving on from the bad dudes for a second, you have DD Trash now, who picked up a victory here and again in a kind of an open tag team market. Now we're going to get to the tag team titles later on in the show, but you have to imagine that maybe they're even creeping up the rankings to where you have to be wondering if there's a possible tag title shot going on for DD Trash, or at least something that's very prominent in the future. Now, I'm not saying the real thing is bad dudes did attack DD Trash after this. Now, this is very important to remember, and the reason I brought this up was I don't think that this rivalry between these two is over.
Oh, no.
It's far from over. If anything, it's just started.
Yeah.
And so makes you wonder. I mean, bad dudes have to be frustrated. This was their chance to get a jump on the tag team division. They failed because of DD Trash, and they got frustrated afterwards. They attacked DD Trash. So now I imagine that there has to be some. DD Trash wants to get revenge first on the bad dudes.
Oh, I guarantee it.
But you have to imagine that, I mean, if they keep racking up wins here, maybe DD Trash isn't in line for a title shot. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. It'll be interesting to see if there's a grudge match between these two. I'm imagining that there probably will be at some point. But you know what? DD Trash
or they just jump straight to title shots.
It's been so impressive, it wouldn't surprise me. Now, let's move on to the next match. Jaden Jett was supposed to be facing Avery Hertz.
Yes.
That was supposed to be a title match. Of course, you guys know, if you watch this.
Fortunate circumstances.
We're big fans of Avery Hertz. We were really looking forward to this match. It was actually one of the reasons my dad went. He stated that match was one of the reasons he went. Unfortunately, Avery Hertz was injured, so he could not participate in the match, which is unfortunate. Avery, if you're watching, I don't know if you're watching or not, but if you are, hope you get better and can't wait to see you soon.
We cannot wait to see you defend that title.
Well,
or go after that title. Yeah,
gotta get that title. Gotta get the title first.
I forgot. Yeah, get that title.
But don't worry, Jaden Jett did have somebody step up and take a challenge, and this is somebody who we're not unfamiliar with. It is Gaston LaRue.
Yes.
Fun fact, I found this out I found this out during the show by just doing a search on Facebook. He actually has a podcast. I don't know if he still does it. He did it. I think his last episode was March 1st. It's called By the Book with Gaston LaRue. Go and check it out. I've been listening to it over the past week. It's a very good podcast. It's on Spotify here. I don't know if it's anywhere else, but I know it's on Spotify for sure. Go check it out.
If that name sounds familiar, yes, we have talked about him in the past.
Yes, Cincy Wrestling. So this is interesting. Going into this match, I mean, Jaden Jett kind of taking on a new competitor by short notice. Gaston LaRue thrusting himself into, saying, hey, listen, if you don't have a competitor, I want that zero gravity title. And I got to tell you, when it started, it seemed like Gaston LaRue, seemed like the crowd was behind him. And by the end of the match, Jaden Jett's, I think he must have had an army of hot moms follow him to the show, because there was loud reactions for Jaden Jett. I mean, the fans is it a controversial take to say that Jaden Jett maybe won some fans?
Yes.
At Night of Champions.
As a heel, he won some fans, possibly, yes.
This was a fantastic match. I enjoyed it. It was good. It was nice to see Jaden Jett finally defend the title on a one-on-one circumstance, because the first time he defended the zero gravity title, it was
he let everybody do their work for him.
Right. And I mean, listen, it's a good tactic, and we'll get to that a little bit later. It's a decent tactic, but one-on-one, you get to see what a real champion does. And you know what? He defended the title successfully. He got a victory over Gaston LaRue. So, unfortunately, I don't know if this match would have ended any differently had Avery Hertz been in this match.
Well, we know Avery Hertz would have won.
Because Gaston LaRue is very, very talented. I just imagine that, Gaston LaRue didn't have that hatred that Avery Hertz had.
He also doesn't have the wrestling with him.
Right, in Battle. Yeah, that's
I don't think he's wrestled
true.
with him in Battle on the Border.
No.
So, again, kind of give Avery Hertz like a little bit of an edge, because then he can be like, hey, this guy does this trick.
Right, it reminds him,
He does this move. He does a little trickery, and then he's going to smack me in the mouth, Something like that,
trickery. Jaden Jet is slippery. He is
a slippery little dude.
But he's built like a truck.
And we got to mention that fucking flip move he did.
Yeah, well, that's what won. That's what won our fans over, man. He was
badass.
If anybody has any doubts about zero gravity, supposed to be kind of the high flying division, similar to like the X division from Impact Wrestling or the cruiserweight division in WWE. Kind of supposed to be a little bit more high flying. If anyone's doubting that Jaden Jet can't do high fly moves, I don't know anyone who said that. I don't know anyone who said that in the first place. But if there was anyone doubting that, that doubt is definitely gone by now.
And man, he can bounce.
Oh, man. Listen, Jaden Jet, listen, I know we kind of poked fun at the fact that he called himself a truck when we interviewed him, which you should go check that out if you haven't seen it. I know we kind of poked fun at him for saying that, but listen, quickness that can help out a lot. And I think that's kind of what got him that edge over Gaston LaRue. Now, not to overshadow Gaston LaRue, he put on a hell of a performance, man. He gave it his best shot. Just came up a little short. I don't think this is the last time we'll see Gaston LaRue in Battle on the Border. No. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes. Jaden Jet, I'm assuming, depending on Avery Hertz and how fast he recovers, Jaden Jet's got to have that in the back of his mind that match is coming up at some point eventually.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely going to know that's a possibility here in the near future.
I was going to say a little bit later on, we'll kind of mention something else that'll wrap back around. So there's a lot of wrap back. We're going to wrap back to the tag team division. We're going to wrap back to the zero gravity division. So let's just truck along here for a second, because this is probably, if this next match is probably my favorite match of the night. If it's not, it's definitely tied with or second. I mean, really, you could go with the tag team match that kicked off the show or this match, and I think these are my top two matches, and it is Eric Surge and Matt Taylor.
Yes.
Now, we have talked about Matt Taylor before in this podcast. We're big fans of him, and we're big fans of Eric Surge on this podcast. Let me tell you something, and this is me saying this as honestly, I have never seen in even the short period of time, the year that we've been working with Battle on the Border, I have never seen so many people get behind one person so fast. Quickly. Eric Surge, people love Eric Surge, and for good reason. The dude is, let me tell you something too, Eric Surge is big.
Oh, hell yeah.
There are some big dudes in Battle on the Border. I mean, Congo Kong, Madman Fulton, Paxton Calloway, there's some big dudes. Eric Surge is big.
Yeah.
Like, he is listen,
I ain't fucking with truck.
I was going to say, I ain't fucking with, listen, Eric Surge can do, like, if I'm bringing my girlfriend into the bar and Eric Surge slaps her butt, I'd be like, you know what? What do you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? I'm a little intimidated by Eric Surge is what I'm saying.
I would assert my dominance and bite his ear off.
Okay, but
I would assert my dominance and bite his ear off. Now, old lady's ass.
We've talked about Matt Taylor before. This match, going into this match, heavyweight division match, Matt Taylor's had a title defense against Brian Pillman Jr. at the Farmers Fair. So Matt Taylor is no joke, no laughing matter. This is a big test for Eric Surge. Eric Surge did get the victory over Matt Taylor, and like what I said is probably, it seems like common denominator tag team matches are always one of my favorites. Anything that involves Matt Taylor, and honestly now Eric Surge are probably going to be tied for my favorites. I love watching them. They're very talented, very good at what they do, and this isn't the last time we see Eric Surge in the show.
No.
We'll get back to that later on, but very, very good match. Big win for Eric Surge. Have to imagine maybe there's something in the future with him in the heavyweight division. Very interesting stuff going on.
Pillman still has possession of that.
Pillman is still the title holder.
So if he was to go after it, he would have to go after Pillman.
And like I said, to defeat someone like Matt Taylor is a big. Matt Taylor's very talented.
Very.
I ain't taking away from Matt. I'm just gonna say I'm not taking away from Matt Taylor at all. I remember Moores Hill, Aaron Williams, Matt Taylor, Dunham said, I think this is a sleeper match, and it was. It by and large was my favorite match.
I'm pretty sure that was his debut on Battle on the Border, wasn't it?
Yeah, from what I understand, yes. And that was, he is very talented. So for Eric Surge to beat someone like Matt Taylor is very, very. I mean, it's a big win for Eric Surge.
Oh yes,
and it has to go a long way. Now, this next match, tag team division, the titles are on the line. The Battle on the Border tag team champions are on the line. We actually interviewed one half of the tag team champions last week, Rob Conway. We've also interviewed Justin Xavier in the past.
We have.
Not trying to plug our own shit during our own podcast, but hey, go check those out. There's a playlist over in the YouTube section. Go and watch all of our interviews. Have you not watched them already?
Interviewed one on the other half.
We have.
We've interviewed one on the
that's
other
right.
half.
So when we interviewed Rob Conway, we understood that he was, from what we understood at the time when we interviewed him, is that he was healthy and that he was going to be at the show and that he was ready to be there. Unfortunately, it sounds like he contracted COVID, so he was unable to compete, which left Justin Xavier a partner short.
Yep.
On a short notice, Party Mike, a fan favorite.
Hey,
we've also interviewed. Just realized we've interviewed 3 of the 4 people. Madman, if you're listening, hey.
We got a double podcast.
I just realized that after I said his name, I'm like, holy shit. But anyway, so this
Mike came and showed out.
So that's right. So Arcade Hangover is their name. They wrestle in other companies together. For those who probably have seen them somewhere.
I gotta say, I love that tag team name.
That's
so badass.
It's a great name.
Tag team Hangover.
These are 2 great dudes, very talented guys. But they do have a big. Rob Conway mentioned it on the podcast we had with him. These are 2 big dudes. Okay, we're talking about
big dudes.
Congo Kong, Madman Fulton of Spectre Enterprises. These are not dudes you want to play.
Congo Kong hits what, 400 pounds or some shit?
I would say he has to be close.
And the Madman's not far behind him.
Madman Fulton is just so.
He's big and ripped.
There's a reason. There's a reason he's been on TV. Is what I'm saying. Same with Congo Kong.
Yes.
There's a reason these guys have been. They are monsters.
And very talented.
Very talented, of course. No one in Battle on the Border is untalented.
So you got both sides, like top-notch talent on both sides.
Right.
And it's just you got the size difference may determine a little factor, but
yeah. And when you go into this, I mean, like Justin Xavier, he's a smaller guy. He's
like what, $150 on a good day.
Well, I don't want to guess, but
well, I'm just trying to give them a little size comparison. Had they not went to the show, which I don't know why they wouldn't have.
Right. There's definitely a size difference.
And there's about a foot difference between him and
Party Mike's the same way. Party Mike is a smaller guy. He's shorter. You know, he's and you know the thing is so. And then here's another thing too. So Justin Xavier, would sound like Justin Xavier needed a quick tag team partner. He grabbed somebody. It sounds like in theory, well, these guys wouldn't maybe necessarily have a lot of tag team experience together. But the thing is that they do.
Yeah.
They do have tag team experience together. The thing is, it's just that Party Mike maybe wasn't necessarily expecting this. Yeah. And so, and he already has a match later on in the night, and he's in the Golden Ticket Rumble.
Yeah, so they're facing 2 other matches.
I was going to say,
that's his third one.
He's not the only one that did that, but I'm just trying to put into perspective that there was a huge moment in this match, and ended the match actually, where Congo Kong came off. Congo Kong, if you guys have been to a Battle on the Border event, you know how ridiculous this sounds, but how unbelievable it is to see in person. Congo Kong came off of the top rope and landed on Party Mike, and unfortunately for Battle on, I'm trying to be as unbiased as I can be, but unfortunately for Battle on the Border, Spectre Enterprises, Madman Fulton, and Congo Kong are now our tag team champions.
Take the victory.
Now, before the match took place, Darren and I took pictures with the tag team championships because we saw them in front of us and we thought, oh, this is kind of funny. Like, we're to do, hey, we'll take a picture with the titles. We did not know at that time. We had no clue that Congo Kong and Madman Fulton would win. I mean, we were kind of, I think, favoring just because of how you first off, what do you call Spectre?
A dickhead?
Yeah, so it's pretty obvious where we lean. I mean, yeah, we've had Congo Kong on the podcast, and he's a very nice man outside of the ring. However, in the ring, he's a little bit intimidating, and I wouldn't get in his way. And Spectre is kind of a dickhead, so...
He is a dickhead. There's no kind of.
Well, and the way he treats a legend like Bobby Fulton, it's just unbelievable. I'm still wanting this fucking match between Bobby Fulton.
Bobby Fulton, I think, didn't he get a hit on him one more time?
He got a hit on him in Moro. Yeah. He didn't this time, but
he came damn close.
Every time the Spectre gets involved, and he gets involved a lot, when he gets involved in matches, Bobby Fulton chases him away. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, the day that Bobby Fulton can get his hands on Spectre the way that he wants to, Spectre's going to regret everything he's ever done.
Yes. Spectre ran through the crowd.
That's right. He got involved, and Fulton said, enough of this. And I'm telling you this right now. This rivalry between these two tag teams, whether it be with Party Mike or whether it be Rob Conway, It's not over. I don't think we're going to see any. I mean, Paxton Calloway is still involved in the next match we're going to talk about. Probably after break, I would assume. I don't know if you want to take a break or not before the Rumble.
Probably because the Rumble's.
But before we get to that,
people.
I was going to say that gets a little bit entertaining once we find out the winner of that. But there's just so much that goes into this. This rivalry is definitely not over between Fulton and Spectre Enterprises. Justin Xavier being under the wing of Bobby Fulton. There's a lot of things that go into this. But what I was saying earlier about the Bad Dudes and DD Trash, now that I'm not saying that Rob Conway and Justin Xavier were easier targets. However, Rob Conway himself, who was tag team champion, he's a legend in wrestling, he even admitted, look, there's a size difference that we're going to have to figure out here. Bad Dudes and DD Trash, they're not necessarily two big dudes like Madman Fulton and Congo Kong are. I think if you're someone who is a tag team in Battle on the Border, Bad Dudes won't admit it, DD Trash won't admit it, but I think it's the truth, and any other tag team in Battle on the Border won't admit this, but I think it's true. You watched that match and you saw Congo Kong and Madman Fulton win, you had to be thinking, uh-oh, this just got a little bit tougher.
But
not taking away from the talent of Rob Conway and Justin Xavier, but now, not only do you have the skill, but then a size and just power difference that's hard to overcome for it doesn't matter how talented you are.
You'd be on the side of DD Trash, for example. They're quick. Mm-hmm. Very quick.
Bad Dudes use the same tactics as Spectre Enterprises, though. So, I mean, you're fighting fire with fire? I mean,
but they're quick, but if you fight fire with two big dudes,
they might
you're
just
going
piss
to
them
get
off.
crushed.
Might just piss them
You're
off.
You're going to just piss them off, and you will get crushed.
The point is like...
You need the speed and agility, and not Bad Dudes, the fucking DD Trash, it's there.
Yeah.
Now they can get the big dude down and keep him down.
Yeah.
Is their biggest issue.
And obviously, one has to, and this is not taken away from Party Mike, but one has to imagine that it is very possible that Rob Conway being in this matchup may have changed things just a little bit. Maybe not the outcome, but it would have maybe helped tilt the favors a little bit towards Justin Xavier and Rob Conway's. Because Rob Conway
definitely could have.
Here's my thing. Like Party Mike's very talented. I'm a big fan of Party Mike. Of course we are.
Oh yeah, Party Mike's amazing.
But what I'm saying is that Rob Conway has that veteran presence, and he could kind of maybe suspect, and so does Bobby Fulton. But when you have two minds, it's better than one, and it's just man, it sucks that COVID, it makes you wonder. So it's going to be interesting to see. I wonder if there's going to be a rematch involved. I wonder, like I said, DD Trash getting a victory over Bad Dudes. Are we going to see a grudge match with that? Are the Bad Dudes, they have to be wanting those titles. I mean, it's just the tag team division is getting very, very interesting. And there seems like there is a race to who is it that's going to be able to be the ones to face,
My prediction is it's going to be DD Trash.
I mean, they're looking good right now, and it's we'll see, man. It's just, I'll tell you what, like I said, I'm a huge fan of tag team wrestling, and I got to tell you right now, I'm very excited about the future of tag team wrestling and Battle on the Border. Not that my opinion matters at all, but I'm just saying, as a fan, I mean, I'll tell you what, if you're a fan of tag team wrestling, this is a time to be excited. So
it's definitely making things interesting.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, the next match it gets even more interesting. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick little break, and then we have 3 more matches to break down. We'll see you on the flip.
We are back.
Welcome back, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We have 3 matches to get through here. Obviously, we have 3 big ones. All 3 of them are big. 2 of them we've been talking about for weeks, months on this podcast. Let's start off with the 2023 Golden Ticket Rumble. Anyone who wins this has the advantage to ask for any match at any time that they want. Going into this match, we had a good decent amount of people who we knew were going to be in it. I don't know if there was anybody who was really a favorite. However, and I apologize for this in advance, just because I wasn't able to take a lot of notes or really even watch the match.
Well, there was a lot going on.
We were in control of the music, so we were really focused on that, making sure that people's music were getting played at the right time. I almost fucked Darren over by giving him the wrong cue at the wrong time. That's neither here nor there.
And I was half asleep. It was basically trying to teach a zombie is what he was trying to do. Because I was like dead.
But some of the highlights of this match, I would definitely say would be Alpha Sigma Sigma being Battle on the Border.
Very excited to be able to have seen them at Battle on the Border.
We saw them in an FGW show, so to see them in Battle on the Border is very,
and
very
we've liked
cool.
them ever since.
Big fans of them, so that was very cool to see them.
Although, with them being part of the Golden Ticket Rumble, they didn't get a chance to throw the beers and
No, but you know what?
Stuff,
this is just a start. And to go back to what we were talking about with the tag team division, if Alpha Sigma Sigma continues to show up Battle on the Border, that's just another
and they
tag
could even
team.
venture into a triple threat.
I mean, there's three of them, so there could be a trios thing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could do. So I'm very excited to see them there. Cassie Clay being the only woman in the golden ticket and holding her own for quite a while was very impressive.
She stayed in for a while.
Matt Taylor was one of the first people in the match, and he lasted quite a while.
Yes.
Eric Surge was the second to last entrant, and I mentioned him last for a specific reason. He was number 19 out of 20.
Yes.
He was doing well. I mean, he was kind of laying waste to certain people, throwing people out, kind of clearing house. And then
I'm pretty sure when King Bomani got in, he's the one that threw out Piper GK Fam.
Yeah. Going back to that, that's another. Thank you for mentioning that. To backtrack just a second, Bomani was the representative of Army of Destiny, which we'll get to later, of course, with his match against Team BOTB.
Yeah.
He was the representative of that, and then Piper GK Fam, who we're also big fans of on this podcast,
very big fans.
was in the match, and they fought actually after they both got eliminated.
Yes.
They fought to the back.
All the way out.
We're sitting right next to the pipe and drape so we saw. I mean, they fought all the way to the back locker room. I'm assuming the locker room broke it up. I wouldn't get in between those two. They were fighting it out.
I thought they were about to pull the piping drape down.
I mean, they almost did. I thought maybe I thought we were going to have to get out of the way. I mean, it was a little nerve-wracking, but it was just a match that was full of a lot of entertaining moments, and I apologize for not being able to give the whole thing a fair review. But if you were there, you know how good of a match this was. It truly was entertaining. Yes. Anytime a Rumble or a Battle Royal of any kind is involved, it's very nice to see. Jaden Jett was in it.
Oh, yeah.
He sat on the outside for a while before getting eliminated. It was
very huge.
Party Mike was in it.
Yes.
Like I said, Matt Taylor was in it. Very entertaining match overall. But number 20 was announced, and even Rick Toms was confused. We were confused because we were counting the music before the match. We're like, shit, we only have 19 people.
Yeah, there's 19
we
people.
Were nervous.
Songs. Wait a minute.
We were like, we missed somebody, and immediately I thought, oh, fuck, I messed up because I was in charge of getting... So I'm like, oh no. Well, number 20 was announced, and it was what did you call him earlier? What we were calling him?
Dickhead.
The dickhead himself. Barnabas Spector.
Yeah, David Barnabas Spector.
He was smart. He sat on the outside of the ring until Surge was in his most vulnerable and was able to.
And he didn't come out to an entrance.
He just came over from his
he
table.
he didn't come out from the pipe and drape. He come over from his damn
merge table.
His merge table. He was just chilling over there, and then
heard his name, and he just started laughing. If you've been to a Battle on the Border show, you know that David Barnabas Spector laugh.
Yes.
And unfortunately, he won. Now, what this means, there's so many things that this means. Earlier in the night, they already won the tag. This was a very good night for Spectre Enterprises.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Generally
very unfortunate.
Generally speaking, during matches or during events, it kind of seems like they've been on quite a streak where they've had some bad nights.
Yes, he has been a lot of losses.
World titles being lost, second chances at world titles not being successful, tag team championships not being theirs. To this time, though, man, they took full advantage of that. And not only did they win the tag team titles, but now David Barnabas Spector himself is the Golden Ticket Rumble winner, which means he can ask for any match he wants to at the time. Now,
but if he asks, does he have to wrestle it?
That's what I was going to say.
Or does he give it to one of his Enterprise members?
This brings up a very interesting point, and it would be interesting to hear what Denham has to say about this.
Yeah.
If he won it, does he have to be the one to enter into a match? If so, what match would David Barnabas Spector want? Is it going to? We're finally going to get that match with Fulton. Is that what it's going to be?
It could be.
I can't imagine that. I can't imagine he would want to face Fulton.
No, he runs from Fulton.
He runs from him.
Unless that's just a pretend, and he's just gearing up to be like, all right.
Right.
Now it's time to wrestle.
I mean, Spector is very smart. He's got the mind games.
Or is he going to go after the heavyweight
and put
Fulton or Congo Kong against Pillman? Would be the big question.
From what we learned the last time, Fulton lost to Paxton Calloway and Morrow.
Yep.
Paxton Calloway is now the #1 contender for Brian Pillman's championship.
Yes.
Well, if Specter's able to give it to a wrestler to use it, is now that match going to be a triple threat match?
Yep.
Does Specter have to wrestle it himself? Is it crazy to say that maybe the hardcore title or maybe the zero gravity title is going to be going after by somebody? Because Specter Enterprises, they're kind of acclaimed. He is the Golden Ticket Rumble winner.
Well, yeah.
They're the tag team champions. There could be some prospective wrestlers who kind of see that and look like, hey, maybe I should team myself with this group, and maybe Specter has somebody in mind for these titles. So
I just know he was heavily pissed off when they lost the heavyweight title.
Right.
So, that would be him to go and try and claim the heavyweight title back.
And with this being said, this definitely created a new enemy in Surge.
Oh, yes.
And again, I know Fulton and Congo Kong are big dudes, but Surge, I just don't know if because now they've pissed off Justin Xavier, Rob Conway, Fulton, Surge, Calloway. There's just so many people that they now have that are enemies of them. But you know what? They already have the tag team championships to worry about. Now they have this Golden Ticket.
But they could be gaining Brandon Day, possibly.
Who knows?
You never know.
He's a free agent now.
I was going to say he's not.
He's a free agent.
Yeah, he turned on his partner. He could be going to the
Specter Enterprises. Maybe
Specter Enterprise side, but
might be calling up Brandon Day.
It's up there.
There's so many interesting things that can come from this.
I would be a little scared if they get Brandon Day.
If
they got him to be over on their team, I would be a little scared of Specter Enterprise.
I'm not taking anything away from Specter Enterprises. I think when we were going into this event, we were kind of underestimating them because they had been on a losing streak, and it's hard to come off of a losing streak. But boy, did they not! They came off a losing streak in a big way.
I'm not going off the wrestler's talent. I'm going off their management.
And you
got Specter's a very talented manager.
Well, that's the thing
you got fantastic Bobby Fulton.
Fantastic.
That is a legendary.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's interesting, and only time will tell. We'll see.
Yeah. Honestly, my prediction is they're going to go after the heavyweight. That's my prediction. They're going after Pillman.
But
he talks about it a shit ton.
Yeah. Well, and we'll see.
So,
who knows? Only time will tell.
Yep.
That's really all I can say about that.
Yep. All I can give is my rough prediction.
Right. No, I agree with you. I do.
So all I give is my rough prediction.
This was labeled as a special attraction match, and I'm only assuming that this was labeled that because Be It Battle on the Border is working with Cincy Wrestling. We do reviews of Cincy Wrestling. We have one coming up. Probably the next episode that you'll see will be a review of Cincy Wrestling Invades Jeffersonville, an event that took place about a month ago now almost.
Yeah, so it's been a while. We've been pretty busy in the books lately. So
he's going to Florida and getting sick and interviews, and it's a wild time.
It's been busy in the books, but we're going to get to it eventually.
But this was the Cincy Heavyweight Championship match with your favorite wrestler of all time, from what I've heard, Carson Drake. You're a huge fan of his, and Party Mike. Now, Carson Drake at the last event put on a great match with Matt Diesel. We'll get to that, like I said, next week. He's freshly defended his title. Party Mike not fresh at all. In fact, Carson Drake made it a point to make sure that it was noted that Party Mike had his ribs taped up. He did. He had his ribs were taped. He did take
at some point he took his shirt off.
He did. Well, yeah, frog splash from Congo Kong earlier in the night.
Yeah.
In the battle royal, which you have to get eliminated over the top rope, falling to the ground. You have the apron that can get in your way. You have the ground itself that hurts. Party Mike was not in the best of shape.
No.
And let me tell you something. He gave it his all against Carson Drake. Gave him a run for his money. And it was not an easy victory for Carson Drake at all. However, with that being said, Carson Drake did retain the title from Party Mike. And there may have been some, possibly not being accusatory here, but there may have been some, the ref was down things going on.
No, definitely. The ref was down. But I got to say that Carson Drake rightfully won that title.
Party Mike, do you hear this absolute blasphemy? Can you believe this? He's just turning on us.
Darren's
heel turn was inevitable.
I have hated Carson Drake for quite some time now. Unbelievable. And I still do not like him as a person. But every time I see him, the asshole gets better and better and better at wrestling.
Well, there's no doubt that he's not talented.
I mean, holy shit! Why? How? How in 3 months do you go from getting fucking thrown out within 2 seconds of being in the ring?
That did happen, yeah.
To wrestling as phenomenal as he is now. How in the hell does that happen?
Carson Drake has always been talented, but I think just him, he wrestles a lot. I mean, that night earlier, this is something we glanced over. We were talking about how Party Mike wrestled 3 times that night.
Yeah.
Carson Drake himself wrestled twice.
He wrestled and then traveled quite a distance.
A good distance to get there. So, I mean, we can say what we want about Carson Drake, but I mean, the truth is, he's putting in that work, man. And I'm just thinking, if this is, we saw Party Mike and Carson Drake. Carson Drake was able to get the victory over Party Mike and Morrow, but Party Mike did get the last laugh.
And
this one,
it wasn't.
I'm not saying
Carson Drake wasn't.
But Party Mike was not at his 100%.
Yeah, no, he was. He definitely wasn't at 100 energy and ready to go. But like I said, I have not liked Carson Drake for quite some time.
Unbelievable.
But I can admit that his wrestling is actually becoming really, really good.
The more and more you're becoming a fan of Carson Drake, the more and more I'm not becoming a fan of Carson Drake. Is that how I'm hearing? Because at first I was kind of giving him the slide. The more and more I watch it, I'm like, man, it seems like there's just a lot of backhanded, sneaky tactics. Now all of a sudden you're saying, is it because
he's pulling moves out his ass I've never seen him do before?
And this is a promo completely. We're not being paid to do this, but he is Squared Circle Expo coming up on April 7th and 8th, which is a Friday and Saturday before Easter. We had Hardcore Heather on to talk about that. Mm-hmm. One of the matches, he's getting to face Nick Aldis.
Yes.
In a title match, but in a match, which is a huge. I mean, that's huge. It's a huge match for Carson Drake, and I just imagine that maybe that being something that he has in his future, he's focusing more on the wrestling and less on the antagonizing and getting into the wrestler's face.
Because I actually got to play his song.
Yeah,
this time I had to ready the stop button.
Yeah, usually he yells at you to cut it off. And
I was ready on the stop button.
Yeah.
But no, I actually got to play his song this time. So, I mean, he could possibly be. He's still a mouthy little shit.
Yeah.
But, his wrestling is getting a lot better. Definitely still needs improvement, but a lot better.
Who are you to fucking say he needs improvement? I know what you're saying, though.
Maybe lot better. He's definitely winning me over, which I hate having to say that.
I hate it, too.
I really hate having to say that.
I cannot imagine sharing a podcast space with somebody who's a fan of Carson Drake. I'm just not ready for that kind of...
I'm still not going out and buying his merch.
Are you saying because I did that I'm part of the problem? Anyway, so...
I'm a fan, but you were the one who went out and bought his merch.
Well, it does say I hate Carson Drake.
He did that on purpose. You can't see that?
No, I couldn't see that.
It's a sales tactic.
Cincy Wrestling, though, like I said, this was his furthest Cincy Wrestling title. We will talk about Cincy Wrestling invades Jeffersonville next week. We will break down that show. Be sure to be on the lookout for it.
Oh, yeah.
And while we're on the topic, go over to Cincy Wrestling on Facebook and give them a like, follow them, so you can see when upcoming shows are. Very, very entertaining show. Super happy to have done a couple podcasts with them and to be at shows. Been a lot of fun, and it's been a lot of fun seeing the Battle on the Border Cincy Wrestling crossovers. Hopefully we get to see more and more Hyper GK fam, part of Cincy Wrestling. So.
We'd love to get him on an interview.
Yeah, I mean,
the man behind Cincy Wrestling.
We'll see. I mean, anything's possible nowadays. I figured that out. Now, not to move on too fast, because that match deserves. It was a very good match.
It's honestly my favorite match of the night.
It deserves a lot of talking. But this next match, we personally have we had some vested interest in. We interviewed Denim. This has been going on for almost over a year now. I mean, the first show that me and you went to was Sergeant Ledbetter against Denim Blevins. This has been going on the whole time that we've been associated with Battle on the Border.
And they have had it out for each other ever since.
And it all culminated to this, a 4-on-4 match between Army of Destiny, which includes Craven, Sergeant Ledbetter, King Bomani,
and the masked guy.
The masked man, which we'll get to in a second, against Team Denim, who we did not know the full team of, and we'll get to that also in a second. But this masked man made his appearance it was a while ago now.
Yeah, he made it at the Morrow, no.
No, it wasn't Morrow. It was after that, but it was in October, I think.
Yeah, it was a
a
cage
while
match
ago.
at
River's Edge.
River's Edge.
It's been a while now where that was supposed to be a grudge match between Denham and Sergeant Ledbetter, and a masked man prevented Denham from getting a victory. So
as he was crawling out of the cage,
he said, "Listen, you have your 4. I'll pick my 4, and we'll get it going." His 4 was announced. Hooks was one of the members. Unfortunately, Hooks wasn't able to make it due to a back injury, which we'll get to also in a minute.
Yes.
Amos returned to be a part of his team at the More Ohio show, but this left 2 slots open, and Denham had a tough, long day. He was in the hospital earlier that day.
Kidney stone.
Sergeant Ledbetter always comes out with like a neck brace on and talking about how he's injured and not feeling good or whatever, and then Denham has a legit
medical
in the
condition.
hospital because Sergeant Ledbetter always seems like he always says stuff like, "I got hit by a car." And Denham was in the hospital, basically escaped the hospital.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's how bad he wanted Sergeant Ledbetter and that masked guy. I mean, now Denham has enemies from all sides. So he was able to find 2 very, very suitable replacements.
Yes.
2 of our favorite wrestlers in all of Battle on the Border.
By far.
One of the guys we've been fans of for a very long time, Justin Xavier. At this point, I almost feel like he was kind of like the first wrestler that I really was a super fan of.
Probably.
And then Eric Surge, who is definitely one of the biggest up-and-comers in the company. So
definitely a great 2 to add to his crew. That's for damn sure.
Eric Surge had 2 things going for him in this match coming into it. Justin Xavier's coming off a loss.
Yeah.
But Eric Surge is coming off a win from Matt Taylor earlier in the night. And then he's pissed off at Spectre Enterprises because of what's going on with Spectre Enterprises. Because it's worth noting, there's just a lot of shit going on in this. I mean, so this is a big match. So you have, again, the Army of Destiny plus a masked man versus Team BOTB.
And not to mention, it was for the company.
Right? I mean, this is for, we haven't even mentioned that.
So,
this is for, if Team Battle on the Border wins, Denham keeps the company. If Team Army of Destiny wins, Sergeant Ledbetter takes control of the company. And throughout the whole night, he was telling fans we're going to raise ticket prices. Wrestlers aren't going to get as much money.
They're going to replace Rick?
Well, no, they said they wouldn't because they're not going to pay for someone else who's half the talent and
half the price.
So,
never mind. I forgot about that.
So
they said they were going to keep Rick,
but he was getting close.
Yeah, I was saying he was on the fine line. Rick would be on like a hair thin line, working for Ledbetter.
And let's just be honest, nobody wants. I mean,
I was going to quit being a sound guy.
Yeah, that was
and the podcast.
I know this is about to be the Single D podcast, which if we know one thing, Single Ds are not as good as Double Ds.
Exactly,
that's what I've learned.
The Double Ds are the fucking best,
in every way. So. This match had a lot of implications going into it. Again, I'm going to be very honest with you, not the greatest note taker during this match because I was so invested. But one thing, because this was an elimination style.
Yes.
The first elimination that I know for sure took place was Denham and the Masked Man double count out. So what happened is that Denham and the Masked Man are in the ring together. Denham was able to get a hold of the Masked Man and take a mask off. A mask, not a mask. Because the Masked Man came prepared. He had 2 masks on, which I got to tell you, when I saw that second mask was on, I was fucking furious.
I was pissed.
I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Denham had him that close. And the Masked Man ran away. Denham ran after him. I don't know. Denham returned, of course, the Masked Man did. And who knows? The Masked Man still might be running.
Probably.
I mean, he's still...
If I had Denham chasing me, I would be running for a while.
I mean, he's a man who was pissed. He was on a mission.
Yeah. So there he leaves the company in the hands of his team. Amos, Eric Surge, which, I mean, it's smart because they're very talented. Xavier,
And Denham did come back and was able to support his team, but just not being in that match has to be a big thing. Now, there was another big event that happened during this match, which is where, unfortunately for Bomani, for the Army of Destiny, it seemed like the team breaking up happened even before the match was over because Bomani accidentally hit Craven.
Yeah.
Craven is a big dude.
Very big dude.
He took it and this is not the first time this has happened.
No.
So I'm starting to think that maybe Craven was starting to take it a little bit personally. And because of that, he left Army of Destiny.
Fuck this, I'm out.
He was gone. And then King Bomani got eliminated.
Yes.
All of a sudden, it's 3v1.
Yeah. All 3 against Sergeant Ledbetter.
Sergeant Ledbetter tried to get the match to restart. Denham, of course, said no. Why would he?
Obviously not.
Why would he say yes to that? But it doesn't matter because ultimately Bomani did come back out and of course involve himself, which then made Surge and Justin Xavier eliminated because of that. Yep. And so now it is basically it is one-on-one between
Amos
and Ledbetter. And it comes down to this, finally, after all this time, all the year-long, almost 2 years probably at this point between those two, it comes down to Amos, Denham's representative, versus Sergeant Ledbetter himself.
Yep.
And Amos was able to get the victory, meaning that Army of Destiny is no more.
Gone.
And that Denham keeps control of Battle on the Border, which, speaking as a Battle on the Border fan, I got to tell you, that is the best news possible.
Yes, very happy about that.
Because of this, Army of Destiny is disbanded. We had to clean up afterwards. Sergeant Ledbetter was very, very upset.
He sat there for quite a while.
He sat. He had to be removed from the ring because eventually they were like, "Hey, we got to take this ring down." Yep. He sat in a chair outside. He seemed stunned. Post this if you're a part of Battle on the Brigade, BOTB Brigade on Facebook. If you're a part of the group, then you saw that there has been this match really took a toll on that group.
Oh, yes.
Bomani's blaming Sergeant Ledbetter. Ledbetter's blaming Bomani.
Yep.
Craven is being, of course, accused. It's just the team has not only disbanded in the ring, but I think in real life, it seems like
they've fallen apart.
It's just fallen apart for them, and it's going to be interesting. They both, Bomani and Ledbetter, have continued to say lots of things to ponder. Makes you wonder what direction they're going to go. It's going to be very interesting to see. But
I gotta say, kudos to Bomani when I have to deal with Ledbetter's shit anymore.
I mean, this could be a big moment for Bomani. We do have a video coming out very soon of Bomani. We were able to catch up with him. We won't go any deeper than this. Yeah. But we were able to catch up with him after the show event. And let's just say things get spicy in that. So ultimately, though, who knows what the future of those Bomani and Ledbetter is? I'm surprised that
Surge
said that it's not over between them. So now there's Surge, Craven, Ledbetter. I mean,
that's a big old thing.
Are they going to be mad at Amos? I mean, maybe Amos is going to be catching some strays because he was the one to deliver the final blow. I mean,
on the brigade, Ledbetter actually.
He did say kudos to Amos, but I cannot imagine. But see, the fact that he says stuff like that makes me wonder.
But what I'm seeing now is Ledbetter can't throw old Bomani under the bus anymore. So how's Ledbetter going to stand up for himself now when he wants to wrestle? When he has to wrestle somebody, but doesn't have somebody to throw in when he's injured.
Right, it is interesting.
So it's going to make it very interesting.
You know what? We may have some of our answers or our questions answered coming up here on Sunday, May 7th. Battle on the Border is returning to Harrison, Ohio for River City Wrestling at River City West Ballpark. That's right, Sunday, May 7th.
Stoked.
They are returning to Harrison for River City Wrestling.
Outside
River City West Ballpark, and the first match that has been announced so far. As of the time we're recording this,
already my favorite match.
I'm saying that because there'll probably be a match announced between the time that we record this and you upload it. But it is a rematch for the Battle on the Border hardcore title that is Hooks and King Kong Pete.
And if you guys watched that last time, Hooks was bloody.
When is he not?
And still won.
Now that he has, there's a back injury involved. I mean, who knows? Maybe King Kong Pete's probably pissed he didn't get the title. There's a lot of shit riding into this match. Make sure.
I gotta say, King Kong Pete better bang his A game. Because Hooks ain't nobody to fuck with.
No, anytime. I mean, this weapon is on here. There's weapons on here for a reason, and our banner on YouTube is Hooks for a reason. You're a huge fan of Hooks. I'm a fan of Hooks.
Hooks is the kind of guy that Denham put on his team for a reason.
For a reason, because he's a psycho.
But dude, under unfortunate circumstances, he's unable to make it.
Yeah.
But it's Hooks. King Kong Pete better come with his A game.
It's going to be interesting.
Hooks is very psycho and talented. But
psycho mainly. And he takes that as a compliment.
I would never fuck with him. I'll tell you that much.
Fuck no.
The last time them two went at it, he should have went to the hospital. He should have.
Make sure you go to Battle on the Border Pro Wrestling on Facebook and you buy your tickets for May 7th River City Wrestling at River City in Harrison, Ohio. You get to see this match and more. Make sure you go and give the Facebook page, Battle on the Border Pro Wrestling, a like so you can get all the match announcements even before we announce them here. Make sure you go to Battle on the Border Brigade and give that a like as well. While you're liking stuff, you might as well go over to our YouTube page if you're an audio listener, Battle on the Border, Double D Podcast and Crew on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, you like our videos,
and like us.
Them. It helps us in the algorithm. If you're listening to us on audio, give us a rating on whatever you're listening to us on. If you don't like listening to us or watching us and you'd rather just listen to us, go to the description of this video. Or if you want to find us on YouTube while you're listening to us, go to the description or the show notes, and you can find a link tree where we'll find us where we're available on all audio platforms, video platforms, and much, much more.
And I don't think he ever added me.
You can also, I have not, I apologize, I haven't even added our own. But follow us on TikTok, WD Podcast 1 on TikTok. Follow me on Twitter, DJDub000 on DJDub00 on Twitter. I tweet about wrestling and some other shit sometimes. You can also follow us on Instagram, _D_podcast. We're not going to be uploading clips as much as we used to on the TikTok or the Instagram. It's going to be some different stuff, some like skits and stuff that we're going to do on TikTok. Instagram is going to be a lot of pictures of when we go to events, so you guys get to see what we see, or like pictures of us with wrestlers or whatever.
Yep.
So follow us on there. Also, go to w.gg to use the Double D Podcast code. It's Double D Podcast. That is DOUBLEDPODCAST to get 10% off of your orders. Again, it's w.gg. Use code Double D Podcast, DOUBLEDPODCAST to get 10% off of your orders.
And if you just love me, add my Snap, Darren 1134567889. We also have a Facebook page, the Double D Podcast and Crew. We also have an email, doublepodcast123@gmail.com. And let's not forget about my DJing service, DJD's DJing service. We do all kinds of events. Call us 812-212-1675.
That's right. Next two videos, like I said, next video after this one, we'll get to see behind the scenes. We'll get to see our post-show interaction with Bomani, and we'll also have a Cincy wrestling review in the works within the next couple of weeks. So make sure you stay tuned. Also, if you're watching or listening, and you've been watching or listening to the We Need to Talk series, I do a solo show once a week. This week it should be twice a week because I didn't do one last week. We were all busy last week. But thank you for supporting it. It's only going to happen while football's off. So it's just something I'm doing while football's not going on. I record it on Sundays. And funny enough, the next We Need to Talk episode should be about Battle on the Border. I actually kind of give a little bit of a behind the scenes of how we got started, what you do, give you a huge shout out during it. Make sure you watch that one for reals.
Well, who knows? I may appear on that one.
Who knows, right? So
nobody knows.
All right. Thank you guys for watching or listening, and we'll see you next time.